Hello, everybody. Today we are back and joined by a special guest, a professional mixed martial artist carrying an undefeated professional record of 5 wins and no losses, fighting shortly for the Fury FC Flyweight Championship on January 18th, Tonio Figueiredo. Tonio, thank you very much for joining me today. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on your show. How are you?
100%. I'm very happy to have you here. And usually we kind of talk about how people first got into mixed martial arts and whatnot, but we're going to skip right over that today and kind of get to what we're here for, January 18th. But actually, before we do, there's one guy who I saw when I was doing my research on you, Joshua Van. You fought amateur. I'm very curious looking back on it. We just saw him hoist the belts earlier in December. Very curious looking back on it, what takeaways you have. And is that encouraging, just realizing, man, I was in there with the guy who just claimed UFC gold?
Yeah, 100%, man. It just, like looking back, it just having that experience leads me to believe that, I'm up there as well. You know what I mean? Like I can compete at the highest level, and and so it just basically tells me that I belong in the UFC. You know what I mean? Which is basically what I'm working towards currently. So that's pretty much what that tells me at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's funny because I was starting this thing up and I had so many different things on my mind. It was, all right, how did this guy get into fighting? It was boxing, correct?
You said what?
I said you got into fighting by boxing, right? Boxing was your first.
Yeah, I started out boxing first, and then I did boxing first, and then wrestling, and then I started doing MMA right after.
Okay, so my research was right there because I had so many different things on my mind. Usually we get into how you start fighting, and then Joshua Van pops into my mind. But the real thing we're here for, January 18th. Yes, very excited to see you step into the cage and fight for that Fury FC belt. Your opponent, Takaya Suzuki. What do you know about the guy?
Takaya Suzuki, he's a well-rounded fighter. You know what I mean? He's got pretty good striking. He knows his distance really well, which honestly, like in the MMA community, like the highest level guys are the ones that are managing distance, and Takaya Suzuki is actually pretty good at that. And so I think he's a dog. I think he's gonna be ready for our fight on January 18th. And but yeah, he's pretty good with pretty good southpaw, pretty good with distance management, and very point style type of fighter.
Yeah. Definitely. And this is another step up in competition for you here as you maintain undefeated. Do you feel any types of extra pressure added with the undefeated record?
At first, you know what I mean? At first, I used to. But now, honestly, I'm used to it now, you know, as funny as that sounds. So I'm used to it now. So no pressure at all anymore. Yeah, no pressures at all. Like at first, when I was like 3-0, 4-0, I was kind of shy about it. I was like, oh my God, like I'm actually like undefeated. And now that I'm 5-0, I'm kind of just accustomed to it, and I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So speaking of things that you're used to, or you might be used to this, you might not be, but you've had your fair share of round one finishes. You've put guys away pretty quickly. Have you gotten used to that one yet?
Yeah, I'm actually 100%. Yeah, 100%. And you know, I'm continuously looking for that first round finish. You know what I mean? So if not, you know, like I can also fight, you know, the whole 15 or 25 minutes. I'll be okay with either or. You know what I mean? Like I have the guessing for whatever fight my opponent brings me. But yeah, I'm kind of used not as being undefeated, but I'm a little used to like finishing guys in the first round. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure like when you did your research, you noticed that all my amateur fights, they all went to decisions. And so whenever like I turned pro, I started finishing everyone. And that's kind of weird for me, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm just trying to get used to that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
So was it like a change in mindset that attributed to these finishes, or what was it for you that kind of clicked?
Changing mindset, 100%. So like as an amateur, I had a what's it called? A point style type of a point style. I was a point style fighter, you know what I mean? And I still kind of have that till this day. But my last fight with Josh Van, you know, like if you didn't watch that fight, you notice I was backing up a lot, stuff like that. That was kind of my style back then. After that fight, that's when I knew I was like, hey, like I think I got to start going forward. You know what I mean? I've always knew I had power, but I told my coaches I got to learn how to fight going forward. And ever since I started doing that, I started dropping people, and I noticed the outcome. And so that's basically what I train on the most, just going forward. And so like now I have a skill where I can fight going backwards and going forward. You know what I mean?
And the power is something you touched on there. That's something I wanted to talk about a bit too, because you really don't see too many flyweights with that one-touch power. I have seen you be able to put people away, and I'm just like, this guy seems to have the death touch. Every so many people have that touch. Where does this power come from, man?
Honestly, what's it go? I think it also goes back to when I was an amateur. So when I was an amateur, I used to be a lot smaller than I am now. And so even back then, I would hit some guys in practice, and they would tell me I hit really hard. And now I'm actually a lot bigger than I was back then. So I think everything is just finally now setting in. You know what I mean? I'm like more mature now. I'm an adult. I was a teenager whenever I was fighting. Amateur. You know what I mean? So I didn't have as much power as I currently have now. And so I think it's just by growing and being able to learn how to seal out my punches and stuff like that. So I think that's where they came from.
Definitely. And I will say fans love watching people that can put other people away like that. And just the finishes in general, but even having that power at 125 is pretty crazy, because you kind of see 125 get disrespected a little bit, which I find absolutely ridiculous. Like if you just watch the skill, like you watch a Pantoja, and I'm like, this guy is the absolute man. He's my favorite fighter currently. Yeah. But you don't see him get the recognition from the fans. And I think a lot of it is because people don't knock people out the way that you do at 125.
Yeah, and I wanna bring that into the UFC. You know what I mean? So I want people to know me for the guy that can like put people away and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So and I want to keep the streak going and stuff like that. And but yeah, I'm always gonna look for ways to finish my opponents and stuff like that.
100%. And if all goes to plan here, do you foresee another quick night in the office come January 18th?
Possible. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really big into like predicting like what I'm going to do, but I can see myself finishing Takaya Suzuki within 3 rounds. But like I mentioned earlier, like if we don't get the finish, like I'll be ready for a 5-round fight as well. So, yeah.
Definitely. So regardless, you get your hand raised come the 18th. After that, how are you looking to celebrate?
Nothing will change, man. I usually after I win, I usually all my family come with me. We usually go to Gringos and we just eat and laugh, and then we'll go home and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. I don't really do anything crazy. I don't party. I don't really party or anything like that. You know what I mean? Just spend time with family. Because usually when I'm in camp, I'm kind of selfish. You know what I mean? Like I just put a lot of time in myself, and so I kind of leave like everyone around me behind. You know what I mean? Except my wife. But other than that, like I kind of just focus on what I gotta do for the most part. So, yeah.
I like the nice save there, right?
yeah, I gotta make sure so she's gonna help me.
Oh, that's great. So kind of moving on a little bit, but same topic, camp life. How's that been treating you?
Let you say my camp?
Yeah, how's camp life treating you?
It's been great, man. What's it called? Sticking to the schedule, staying disciplined, doing pushing every day. Also like what's it called? Being, like allowing myself to rest, stuff like that. So I feel like I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. Being disciplined with my diet and all those things. I got nothing negative to say about my camp. My teammates are showing up for me. My coaches are showing up for me. I got no complaints at all. I'm getting a lot of support from my people on my side. You know what I mean? So I'm all set as far as like camp and stuff like that. No drama or anything like that.
Awesome. Happy to hear it, man. And I know you're not really looking past anyone, but if all were to go to plan, what are you looking to accomplish in 2026?
I want to be in the UFC by 2026. That's my goal. And I feel like I'm close, but I'm just gonna keep working towards that goal. And that's literally all I want, man. Just get into the UFC. That would be a dream come true.
I'm happy you said that, because the next one up I had for you is the UFC the goal? So Check that box right there.
There we go. There we have it.
And I know we touched on pressure a little bit, but while I was doing my research on you, I saw some articles that had you mentioned as a top MMA prospect. How does that recognition feel for you?
It feels good, but at the end of the day, man, I got I'm like, people will say X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, I focus on what I gotta focus on, right? So like, it's good that I'm getting the recognition, but at the same time, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that. For the most part, I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing to get these wins, which is really just being disciplined, train every day, and just be focused. You know what I mean? Like, snipe the dream and stay at it. That's kind of how I look at it. You know what I mean? It's just nothing will change. I'm still gonna do what I gotta do to get where I'm trying to get to.
Definitely, that's a good mindset to have. But do you even notice stuff like that when there's articles written, or do you just try to not really pay attention and just like keep on the path?
Oh no, I actually read it, man. I think it's pretty cool when whoever people write stuff about me, because at the end of the day, it's still new. It's still new to me. So like, reading is like, I'm like, oh, this is actually what people think about me. So that's pretty cool. So I will read about it, and then I'll be happy about it for about 30 minutes, and then get back to what I gotta do. So, yeah.
On with the day, right? On with the day.
Yeah.
So we're coming towards the end of this interview here, but I'd like to ask a few fun questions before we get out of here. First one of which being, if you had the opportunity to cage fight any individual throughout history, who are you picking?
To cage fight anybody throughout history?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Man, I'm just gonna try to pick the easiest fight, honestly. You know what I mean? Now I'm playing with you. If I had to share the cage with anybody, man, it would be my favorite fighter, which is TJ Dillashaw. That's gonna. I'd love to share a ring with him. That would be pretty cool. So I'd pick him. But he's super big right now, by the way.
Yeah. He's a little juiced up right now. He's fucking massive. So next up, if you were in charge of designing the MMA Mount Rushmore, which 4 guys are you putting up there?
4 guys, gotcha. Let's say I will. Man, a lot of people probably will give me some crap for that, but I think Tapoya is like one of the best out there. Like, I'll for sure put him out there. And honestly, man, I'll kind of just stay within this generation. Like, I'm kind of gonna leave the older generation behind. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I'm within this generation. I'll pick Tapoya. I'll for sure pick Islam Makhachev. I'll pick what's it called? Max Holloway, I would put him on there too. And who is currently fighting? Tapoya. And I would put what's his name? I don't like to mix older generation and younger generation, just because honestly I feel like it doesn't make sense. The sports it was different back then to what it is now. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like the talent is different. And so and I personally think if you were to put the new generation with the older generation, I think the newer generation would win, just because the talent is much higher nowadays. You know what I mean? We have access to a lot of, like, we got the internet. Like, you can literally learn anything nowadays. Back then, the information was very limited. And so I feel like the talent nowadays is a lot higher than back then.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree on that. I mean, you just have the opportunity to learn from those before you and pick up on different things. And, dude, mixed martial artists nowadays are so damn well-rounded. It's crazy. Like, you used to have specialists, and you might have a wrestling specialist now, but he can do absolutely everything too, which is just crazy to see. But last one I got for you today before we get on out of here. I know the UFC is in your sights. So who are some flyweights on the UFC roster you'd like to share the octagon with someday?
Let's see. I would like to Alex Perez. I think that's his name. Yeah, Alex Perez. I'd like to, like, if I had to make my pro debut in the UFC, I'd like to fight Alex Perez. I would also fight Alessandro Costa if the opportunity presents itself. But yeah, man, I'll even jump straight. I believe Alex Perez is in the top 15. You know what I mean? Like, if they offer me somebody in the top 15, I'll for sure take it. You know what I mean? So.
100%. Antonio, thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it a lot. Best of luck in your upcoming fight. And for everyone listening, can you let them know where they can find you to follow along?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. You can follow me on Instagram at Tonio Figueiredo 125. So it's just my name. Like I'm sure you can read the screen right here, right, Tonio, and then Pocho FOSHOW and then 125, and that's where you'd be able to find me on the internet. So.
Awesome, man, and thank you again for your time. Best of luck. I'm really looking forward to getting to watch you compete.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you, Zach. Thank you for meeting up with me today.
Thank you, man.